Is there any regulatory framework for property YouTube influencers? Is there any legal boundary? Or it's a business of free for all influence peddling? The news of Sebi crackdown on YouTube influencer Ravindra Balu Bharti for illegal investment advisory services has come as a reality check for many influencers. These influencers are offering unregistered and more often than not paid investment advice by the vested parties. But financial influencers, or finfluencers as they say, are not the only influence peddlers that need to be checked. I am Ravi Sinha, and today I am raising the question of property influencers or prop influencers who are even greater threat. After all, one invests in a stock market with surplus money where amount is much lesser than one's investment in property that is life's costliest purchase. It is mostly purchased with borrowed money. Why is there no regulatory framework for property influencers? The world of influencers with YouTube is not limited to just financial influencers who are targeting novice investors by providing unregistered investment advice and trade recommendations. The regulatory action by India's market regulator Securities and Exchange Board of India, Sebi, against YouTube Ravindra Balu Bharti and his company, Ravindra Bharti Education Institute, for operating an unregistered investment advisory business is a timely reminder for many such blatant illegal advice through social media. In this case, the SEBI has barred them from participating in the securities market until April 4, 2025 and ordered them to return 9.5 crore rupees, the amount earned through their unlawful activities, as per media reports. SEBI's investigation revealed that Bharti and his company targeted novice investors by providing unregistered investment advice, trade recommendations, and execution services. With a substantial following of 1.9 million subscribers across 2 YouTube channels, Bharti used his platform to influence his audience into making high-risk investments. The company promised high returns but failed to disclose the accompanying risks while operating without the mandatory SEBI registration. SEBI's order highlighted that Bharti's company breached securities regulations and neglected its fiduciary obligation to act in the best interest of its clients. What the loss is, what it?
In the real estate markets, there are multiple number of advisors who are floating around on social media and otherwise. And there are real estate agents who are selling the properties on primary and secondary markets. Now, primary market means primarily a developer conceiving a project and selling to the customers. And secondary would be where secondary sales are happening in the markets where the projects are complete, so on and so forth. And subsequent to that, agents are selling or becoming the intermediaries for purchase and sale of a unit. Now, primarily, we are concerned about this market where the developer sells and these agents, real estate agents, come in between and sell the projects of these developers. Now, that is, of course, regulated now through Real Estate and Regulation and Development Act. But it does not say per se in terms of, marketing advisory. It does say if a transaction happens, and that transaction can only happen if it's registered, it is through a registered real estate broker, so on and so forth. So if you ask me, the advisory floating around in real estate, social media and otherwise, there is no per se regulation, unlike in case of SEBI, where stock market advisory is pretty much regulated. Thank you.
SEBI had earlier this year introduced stricter regulations targeting financial influencers to safeguard investors. SEBI has banned brokers, mutual funds, and other regulated entities from associating with unregistered financial influencers for marketing or promotional purposes. This includes financial transactions or client referrals involving these influencers. But finfluencers engaged exclusively in investor education are exempt from these restrictions, provided they refrain from giving specific investment recommendations or guaranteeing returns. Finfluencers offering services or recommendations on securities must register with SEBI. This is all about finfluencers. What about the prop influencers? Who are these influencers of property market? Are they journalists? Are they neutral content creators? Or is it a case of brokers gaining internet celebrity status as real estate influencers? Who will differentiate that? For me, a real estate influencer is one that could only educate the buyers about various nuances of property market, act as a source of due diligence, and specialize in identifying hidden assets and undervalued real estate opportunities. But the kind of prop influencers that I find on YouTube makes me wonder whether there is any guideline. Forget about regulation. They are collaborating with builders to promote projects that have serious legal issues or have been delayed for years. The opinion expressed are mostly one-sided and biased. The project being reviewed are so highly glorified that it would make any seasoned marketeers ashamed. Some of these influencers glorify through their podcast that they charge up to rupees 10 lakh for content collaboration with builders. It simply means builders are paying these property influencers hefty amount to influence the gullible home buyers. These home buyers have absolutely no way to know these are advertising stuff and not investor education or information videos. And when builders pay for such content creations, it goes without saying that who gets glorified and at what cost. Mind you, this is not just India's specific problem. The subject is very much at a discussion stage in many countries where lax regulations and ecosystem has made the real estate influencers laugh their way to the bank. A few years back, the issue had taken center stage in North Korea as well. But no solution could find its way through legal scrutiny. The state-run Korea Housing Institute had then delivered a warning message against this phenomena. The message said, the spread of indiscriminate information as well as market distortion is deepening on YouTube. In April this year, the Cyberspace Administration of China, through Jinglang campaign, which literally means clean and bright, announced to penalize Chinese social media influencers and internet celebrities deemed to be flaunting wealth or deliberately showcasing a luxurious life built on money. In terms of the legality, there are regulations for social media influencers, including requirements to make clear disclosures and conduct due diligence before endorsing products or services. The Consumer Protection Act also prohibits misleading advertisements, which can be penalized with fines and imprisonment. Even RERA seems to be helpless, as it only questions the brokers and not social media influencers, who on the face of it are not brokers. In reality, these influencers either have a separate website where the same projects are being advertised or are charging the builders for influencing and lead generation. But in reality, no one bothers to ensure accountability and maintain a standard of expertise on the subject. No prop influencer is giving any kind of disclaimer either. There is no defined code of conduct or professional boundary. It's a legal blind spot where few legal regulations are applied and everything goes in the name of freedom of speech. No, I am not asking for the government authorities to punish those who encourage real estate speculation on YouTube. as in most of the cases no legal grounds are established when the content is simply said to be predictions based on freedom of speech. But while these paid celebrities, with only qualification of being good conversationists, engage with the unsuspecting audience and make money, the one who suffers is the vulnerable home buyer with limited understanding of property investment. No code of conduct, no regulatory guideline, and no legal obligation of even a basic disclaimer of being paid content is what constitutes the world of property influencers. What is the solution? Well, maybe an investor awareness program that could understand the difference between what is product oriented influence peddling and what is solution or advice oriented advice. As things stand today, real estate influencers are at best like selling insurance product by the bank. The buyer has no knowledge of downside, and for the influencers, it is just target marketing. A solution approach will in the long run give more credibility than sales approach. But then in the world of free for all influencers, it is not about accountability. And what drives them is playing around the YouTube algorithm that advances views. I rest my case. Thanks for watching.